I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know I need someone help.
Welcome back to this already, the final segment of today's Price of Business, and I am your host, Kevin Price, talking about you and your business. You know what? A lot of businesses need help, and that's why they call our next guest Charles Alvarez, and he is with Cornerstone Business Academy. And Charles, as always, glad to have you on the program. I'm a huge fan of your work, and I can speak firsthand on the great work that you do to help others. And always delighted to visit with you. Why don't you kind of give us some more information about Cornerstone?
Well, first and foremost, Kevin, I'm also a big fan of your work. Your perspective on things, not only business but also in politics, in my opinion, is second to none. And I think you do your listeners great. I also congratulate you on that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So about Cornerstone Business Academy.
Well, Cornerstone Business Academy works with business owners here in the Houston area. We do have some clients outside of Houston as well, but predominantly in Houston. And we basically offer a step-by-step system on how to get your business from where it is now to where you would like it to be. And we do that by offering, a very, very simple and easy-to-use approach developed by Brian Tracy over the past 34 years that's really designed to do three things. The first thing it's designed to do is basically get you more leads. Most businesses right now, as you will know, Kevin, are really struggling to kind of separate themselves from all the noise and all the clatter that happens on a weekly basis to really separate themselves in a manner that makes them the obvious choice to do business with. The second is how do we convert those leads into sales? In other words, now that we have a lead, what are we going to do with them to generate a sale? And then the last thing that we're finding that we are really adding a lot of value to is really getting their employees to perform. So many business owners are frustrated that they have these employees that they see, come in the door at 9, walk out at 5, and they look like and say, what the heck did they do all day? So those are the three value-added services that we provide.
Okay. And talk about that. First of all, talk a little bit about where your relationship with clients began.
Really, what our relationship with clients begin is just that, Kevin. It's a relationship. We find that in today's marketing world, people can get all the information that they want on the internet. As a matter of fact, I was working with a client that's wanting to do a unique selling proposition, and if you actually Google unique selling proposition templates in Google, you get 1.3 million pages. So what we are trying to do is we begin every single one of our relationships with basically just some information. In other words, okay, yeah, there are 1.3 million websites on how to build a unique selling proposition. How do we do one for you? In other words, walk us step by step. So we offer as a free resource. Matter of fact, you can get it by going to cornerstonebusinessacademy.com, and it's basically a template that walks you through exactly how to not only find what your unique selling proposition is or what makes you unique, but also formulate it and put it into words so your prospects can understand. So really it just comes from providing our prospects and people we come in contact with useful information.
Yeah, gotta love that. Kind of give us a scope of the type of businesses that use your services.
Typically, the companies that we deal with do about $750,000 to about $11 million in sales. Like most businesses, those are the ones we target, but we have a tendency to attract those higher and more to those ranges. And most of the businesses we work with are what we call project-based businesses. In other words, the types of companies that have worked from project to project, like contractors, engineering companies, architects, and web development firms or IT outsourcers. So those are our predominant clients.
And talk about in terms of size.
Typically anywhere between 10 and 100 employees is our size, but, kind of like with the revenue range, that's, we also have some that are below and above those numbers, but really our sweet spot is, the 10 to 100 employee type of company.
Yeah, very good, very good. And what do you feel like, what's the situation out there for your clients in 2015?
Well, what we've been working with our clients more than anything right now is as a result of a study, actually a couple of studies that we read. We found, Kevin, that based upon a study by both the Harvard Business Review and by the Gallup poll, of those surveyed, they surveyed 670 to 1,000 companies each. And what we found is that less than 3% of the companies surveyed can articulate what makes their business unique versus any other. Matter of fact, I was talking to an engineering company about this last Thursday. They said, well, Charles, all engineering companies are the same. There's no difference. And, Kevin, I work with many engineering companies, a lot of web development companies. I've never met the same company twice. They all have a different positioning. They all go about doing their business a different way. And what happens if you can't tell what the differentiators are in your business, how on earth do you expect your prospects to? So what we're really doing is saying, okay, what is it that you do better than your competition? What is it you do worse than your competition? And what would you like your customers to know about you that they don't know, either because you haven't communicated to them, or it's so obvious and so right underneath your nose that you can't see it. It's kind of like that whole mantra, the best way to hide something is to put it into plain sight, right? So it's really helping them articulate what is it that makes us different, and then putting it in such a manner that makes that particular company the only logical choice for them to do business with.
Yeah, absolutely. So, interesting. And as far as 2015, overall attitudes of optimism from your clients, what kind of perspectives are you getting?
Well, I mean, we're starting to hear some excuses. Like, for example, oil prices, have gone from 100 down to 59. We're hearing that you can't find the right types of not clients, the right types of employees for your business. And what those are is just kind of like what I said, Kevin, excuses. I mean, if you have a $10 million business, we're sitting in a $19 trillion economy. That's just the United States alone. Try taking $5 million or $10 million, dividing it by 19 trillion. There's a lot of zeros after that decimal point. And what we find is, every single economic situation, Kevin, brings risk and reward with it. For example, when oil was 100, it was easier to get work, but it was harder to find people to fulfill that work. Well, now that oil's gone back down to 59 to 60, we're finding that it's a lot easier to get employees because, quite frankly, unfortunately, that a lot of them have been laid off. But we're finding that it's more difficult to get work. So having that unique selling proposition and having a strategy on how you're going to find the right people for your business is critical in today's environment.
Yeah, no question about it. Final thoughts before I let you go?
Well, speaking of free information, if y'all would like to find out how to create your own unique selling proposition to attract more leads to your business, just go to cornerstonebusinessacademy.com, and the report is yours for free for the taking.
Awesome. All right. CornerstoneBusinessAcademy.com. And again, Charles Alvarez. I'm Kevin Price. You've been listening to The Price of Business. Do want to remind you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. Plus, best interviews here show up over there at USDailyReview.com, the national news website. While there, make sure you like it on Facebook and follow it on Twitter. Have a great day and spend it wisely right here on this station.